So, Maryeve, we've got this dog, right? We have
Right.
selected this dog and we believe we've got the perfect dog, right?
Oof.
We have picked it out. Maybe we got it from a breeder. Maybe we got it from ourselves and maybe we bred it out ourselves.
Right.
But what are the different, we got to start training these dogs.
Oh no.
So I know this is the most, the most difficult part. And I think this is probably the most overlooked thing that people do when they get livestock guardian dogs. Unfortunately, we've heard from so many people how they just get a dog and then they throw it into the chicken pen and then they're mad at the dog because the dog killed chickens. We had a dog that was given to us. Her name was Kanji. Kanji's owner was basically about to put her down because that dog was killing chickens. And it's nothing against the owner. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to that particular owner, whether they're great people. It is the, maybe we're setting the dog up for failure because we didn't train them properly.
Right.
And this is the only reason why we're having this discussion is because that was us. So when we have this conversation, please know that we're not throwing anyone under the bus. This is a moment of self-reflection on us and not a finger pointing at anybody. Training a dog it's not a simple project. It's something that takes months and months and months. And even then, even though 3 and 5 years old, we're still reinforcing things like sit, lay down, stay,
recall.
Exactly. So Maryeve, walk me through the training process and, kind of grasp at like what weeks we're at as well. So we kind of know about what week are we going to start walking them around on a leash, maybe walking them through the pasture, because we didn't put our dogs necessarily directly in the pasture. Most of our most successful dogs, other than Marla, they were all trained kind of in the house first, and then we rotated them to the pasture.
Correct.
Which is probably very different than other people. But talk to us about that process and what's the best way to train, in your opinion.
My opinion.
What's the best way to train our dogs?
My opinion, you start your dog inside. You get them potty trained, you get them house trained, you get them leash trained as fast as you can. You just get them in the house, you get them ready to go. Show them where the food is, show them where the water is, show them where they can and can't go inside the home. And this is especially important for things like dog has surgery.
Yeah.
You can't leave your dog outside all the time when it's surgery. Really, really, really bad weather. Tornadoes are coming through or hurricanes are coming through. You don't want a 90-pound dog using the bathroom.
Sushi's terrified of storms.
So you need to prepare that dog for those circumstances. Dog gets hurt by another dog, has to go to the vet. You need them to be accustomed to people. You need them accustomed to different scenarios, different places. You need them accustomed to strangers. And these are all good things because it's going to help them out further in life. I'm not saying that you don't let them bark at strangers. I'm just saying you want them used to seeing people. If you have your best friend come over who's never met the dog before, you don't want them barking up the tree because they've never met your best friend before. So you definitely want to train them outside and inside the home. Outside meaning in different places off of your farmstead, homestead. And you want them to be house trained for the purpose of what if they get older and they can't run around anymore? You just don't want to have to be cleaning that up. It's setting yourself up and the dog up for success later down the road. So that's going to be the first several months. It takes time to potty train a dog. It takes time to leash train a dog. It takes time to take them out.
Leash training for some of them is still a process.
And even putting them inside the car, some dogs don't like car rides. So immediately start putting them in the car, getting them used to that car ride. You don't want them getting car sick, especially if you have to take them somewhere. Or what if something horrible happens and your homestead is devastated? You need a home for the dog immediately. Also, as soon as you start walking the chores, doing your chores, take the dog with you.
Yeah.
The dog can walk on a leash. That's when you start taking them to do your chores with you. You take them out to the chicken coop. You show them that chicken food is not their food. You show them the sheep food is not their food. You show them that the pig scraps are not theirs. You show them that this is not yours.
It also shows you that it allows them to see what's important to you.
Exactly.
And so they're developing a standard in their mind of what's important to my master. This chicken is obviously important because my owner is doing all of these things to take care
They're
of it.
picking it up. They're
picking
cuddling
up
with it.
that
They're
this
checking
is,
on them. They're looking at their feet. They're looking at the goat hooves. They're looking at the sheep hooves. They're making, FOMACHA checks. They're doing body checks.
A lot of butt sniffing. A lot of butt sniffing going on with this vet.
Dogs sniff the butts, and you let them familiarize themselves with all of those smells.
I don't think we ever punished them ever for being around, sniffing, being up in their business, and anything like I wanted them. I wanted them to treat it as if it was theirs.
Yes.
This is my goat. This is
right.
We've had dogs that almost feel like they are a kid, almost like they're our direct descendant. And so like they're protective of like what they feel like is our kingdom, if you will.
Right.
And so they understand that that is a possession of the kingdom and they're there to protect it.
Correct.
And so I think there's something there about allowing them to have that familiarity with every single thing on the farm.
But you also teach them where they can't go. Can they go in your garden? Can they go? Do you want them in the chicken coop? Do you want them in the goat barn? Where do you want them going? And these dogs are very territorial. They love to walk fence lines. They love to walk. And so that's a great way to get the energy out. If you're a homebody like me and you love to be home, but don't get to do it that often, I love being home. So walk the fence line, have the kids walk the dogs on the fence line on a leash.
Yeah.
When they get near the fence, you just pull them back, keep walking. Go too close to the fence. Pull them back. Make sure that way they can train that fence line and they can stay and learn that when we're in the fence, we stay in the fence and we get rewarded for staying in the fence. And when it's time to come out, you reward them for coming and getting out, and then you do your next task together. Then you slowly bring them into those different areas. I think a dog is fully trained between 2.5 and 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like a very, very long time to properly train your dog. I wouldn't get discouraged at that timeline because you have 8 more years of that dog's life that he or she could fully devote to making sure that farmstead or homestead is properly secure. They're going to let you know when there's UPSs in the driveway. They're going to let you know when the mailman is here or your, Amazon food order or whatever you've got going on there. You're going to know when they're showing up because they're supposed to let you know. They're going to let you know when the driver's coming up. You're going to see that tail wagging through the window because they're going to know your neighbors. They're going to be familiarized with them. All of these things are good. The dogs don't like the crows. They know the crows and the hawks come get the chickens. So the minute they see a big bird, they start barking. And I know the big birds are because that's a different bark than the mailman.
Yeah. So when do you know it's time for them to be left on their own? You're pushing them on the iceberg out into the ocean to be in the pasture by themselves.
Okay, so during the walking the pastures process and doing chores with them, slowly you take them off the leash for 10 minutes. The next time it's 20 minutes. The next time it's 30 minutes. Then you go to move to an hour. And then the next time, can you go 2 hours? Can you sneak off and see if that dog will stay in the pen?
Yeah.
So when they start staying in the pen,
like there were certain dogs for us, like Saki she just didn't want to come back in. Like she would just fight to just stay out there. Once she got outside, like she was an indoor dog for 6 to 9 months. I would say she was like
probably
really
longer than that.
Now she'd come back in every once in a while and she'd spend time with us. But as far as like
she loved being outside.
She loved being outside. She loved being in the pasture. She loved being out there with her mom. And so she had this devotion to want to be out there that I think a lot of other dogs don't.